The OBJ Giants rumors are officially heating up as Malik Nabers, Abdul Carter, and Brian Burns all commented on Odell's Instagram post where he kind of hinted again that he wanted to be a Giant again. And if you want that to happen, if you want Joe Schoen to go out and sign Odell Beckham, to have him come back and finish his career as a New York Giant, go down right now and hit that thumbs up icon. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. We did a video yesterday on the channel where Odell at the Fanatics Fest that happened this weekend at New York was pretty much shouted out by Giants fans saying, come back home to the Giants. And Odell said, I got you. And then last night on Instagram, he posted this picture with his son in front of MetLife Stadium. And he wrote as the caption, it said, man, yo, daddy, he did a lot of awesome stuff at this stadium. We changed the game and inspired a generation who came behind us. We still got more work to do. I'm loving every second I get with you and can't wait to see what you do in this world, your turn twin. And a couple more pictures just in front of MetLife Stadium. But it was the comment from Malik Nabers that kind of set Giants Twitter, Giants Instagram, and Giants Facebook on fire. Nabers comments and says, we still got work to do. And look, if Malik Nabers wants Odell to be a Giant again, we should all want Odell to be a Giant again. So go out and get it done, Joe Schoen. Make sure Nabers is happy because like Odell was supposed to be, Nabers is supposed to be one of those guys that retires and says, once a Giant, always a Giant, and only a Giant. And I'm hoping Abdul Carter joins him as well, and he joined him in the comment section and then shared it to his Instagram story, the picture that Odell shared and a comment shown by Nabers. And Abdul Carter says, it's time. So you got Nabers and you got Carter, the two most important players on the Giants for the next 5 to 10 years. You want those guys to be happy. You want those guys to be here. And there's been chatter from players that have played for the Giants under Joe Schoen that weren't the biggest fans of him. And I think this is an easy opportunity for Joe Schoen to make the players in that locker room happy. But it's not just Nabers, and it's not just Abdul Carter. Brian Burns, the guy that you signed to a $150 million contract, he also commented on Odell's post and put the eyeball emoji. So Nabers, Carter, and Brian Burns all want Odell to come back to the Giants where his career started and have a chance to end his career on the right note. I got chills. I absolutely do. I would love to see Odell Beckham Jr. play for the New York Football Giants again. He was supposed to be one of those few, very rare, personified air guys where he talked about I only was a New York Giant. And I want him here. And I know, obviously, Nabers, Burns, and Carter do. I'm sure a lot of you do as well. And if that does happen, if Joe Schoen is able to get Beckham to put pen to paper to join this football team again, we're going live on the channel. So make sure you are subscribed. If any more information comes out about this story, we're going to put out a video. So subscribe, turn those notifications on, and help us reach our goal of 77,000 subscribers. We're almost there, and we need your help. If you love Giants, you want free videos every day, hit that sub button right now. This all started on really over the weekend when Malik Nabers was here. That's when Russell Wilson said, I signed with the Giants because Nabers is the best wide receiver in football. That was a different part of the Fanatics Fest. Odell was on stage, and fans yelled at him and said, go back to the Giants. And Odell said, I got you. And that really set this story off. And then later on, and whatever you want to call it, a panel or whatever it may be, he had a hard stop where he had to get up and leave mid-interview, and he dapped everybody up, and he was like, all right, go Giants, go Giants. And he kept on just poking the bear and getting all of our hopes up. This isn't the first time, though, Beckham has tried to find his way back to the Giants that were coached by Brian Daboll and that were put together by Joe Schoen. Remember back in the fall and winter of 2022 where the Giants were on their way to the playoffs, on the way to beat the Minnesota Vikings and Patrick Seatman's football team? Odell Beckham took a free agency visit to sign with the New York Giants. This was after he tore his ACL in the Super Bowl with the Rams 11 months earlier. And supposedly he had a good visit with Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen. But obviously not good enough because he didn't sign. Or I guess you could say his body wasn't in good enough shape because he didn't sign with anybody that year. And then fast forward a couple more months from December to March, John Mara spoke to the media and said the Giants haven't closed the door on Odell Beckham Jr. He said he is in favor of signing him back to the Giants if Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll can make it work. So your star players, Nabers, Carter, Burns, and John Mara, the owner, sound like they want it to happen. So can they get it done? Does a one-year veteran minimum deal get the job done? I mean, I don't see why the Giants wouldn't be open to doing that. If it's really that big of a deal, you don't have to guarantee any of the money, and you could put some incentives in the contract to make Odell happy, and hopefully you reach those incentives. Does Odell want to come to the Giants on a veteran minimum deal and have to earn a roster spot and maybe be wide receiver 5 or wide receiver 6? I'm not sure. I do, though, think the Giants could use another talented football player at the receiver position. You have Malik Nabers. He's going to be a stud. Wan'Dale Robinson entering the final year of his rookie contract after being a second-round pick. Does he take a leap with Russell Wilson? Darius Slayton, he signed back with the Giants for a second time in free agency. Can he take another step with Russell Wilson here? Jalen Hyatt had 8 catches last year. Is Lil Jordan Humphrey the reason you're not signing Odell Beckham? Is Montreal Washington? Is Zach Pascal? Like, do you have a lot of faith in Daquan Felton, Dalen Cambry, and Bo Collins? Is Bryce Ford Wheaton all of a sudden going to become a viable wide receiver, a viable NFL receiver? Is Amir Smith-Marset going to go from a great punt and kick returner to a productive receiver? Like, the Giants could use another wide receiver. I don't know who Odell Beckham is at this point. But you are a, knock on wood, Malik Nabers injury away from being in wide receiver hell. And, like, don't tell me the Giants have a lot of faith, and no disrespect here to Lil Jordan Humphrey and Zach Pascal. Like, there's not really a lot of production for them. Like, Lil Jordan Humphrey had a solid-ish season last year, I guess you could say. Like, 31 grabs. And, like, is what he is, a blocking wide receiver. He has 44 grabs over the last 2 years. Zach Pascal has 4 catches over the last 2 years. He's a special teams guy. So, like, don't tell me you're not signing Beckham because of Lil Jordan Humphrey and Zach Pascal. And to be fair, Odell didn't do much last year with the Miami Dolphins. 9 catches, 55 yards. At age 32, what does Odell have left? He didn't show like he had much left with the Dolphins last year. There were some things that I really liked watching him with the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson. And while, I hope he gets back to this status because I like the guy and I'm appreciative for what he did for this organization. And he was the most electric Giant I have ever seen in my life. Like, I don't think that guy's walking through the door. But if you're telling me the Giants can sign Beckham and he could put up 35 grabs for 565 yards and catch 3 touchdowns for the veteran minimum, and shit, for the vibes, this team could freaking use some good vibes. I'm in. Like, come in, put your nose down, learn the playbook, build a relationship with Russell Wilson, and earn your spot on this football team. Like, if you want to come in here and do that, I'm in. Got a couple more things to say. Make sure you are hooked up with this awesome shirt for the 4th of July. Go to chatsports.com/USA Giants. That's chatsports.com/USA Giants. Like, it would be a lot of fun. And look, we could use some fun as Giants fans. Isn't that the whole point? Like, is keeping Odell Beckham on the roster as a 5th wide receiver going to change, like, your team that much in the sense of you're a worse team? No. There's actually a chance you could be a better team. And I'm not saying you keep a player to be worse, but, I mean, shit. You kind of owe us, Joe Schoen. You kind of owe us. You let that one guy go to Philly and hoist a freaking Lombardi trophy. So, like, yes, it'd be fun, but what does he have left? Does he want to come in, earn a roster spot? Is he okay with being wide receiver 5? Is he going to be a non-distraction? I'm not saying he was in the past, but that's what it takes. is Odell kind of in the spot of a backup quarterback that's too big of a name, where you may think he's still or is a good backup quarterback in this league, but he's too out of a personality, or he's too blah, 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 whatever they do say about those guys. Like, let's do it. You want to come in, work hard, be wide receiver 5, and work your tail off and have fun? Yeah, let's do it. I'm cool with that. Does it happen? I don't know. Does he sign a veteran minimum deal? Is he willing to sign a veteran minimum deal? I don't know. Do the Giants have interest in him? I don't know. I'm not getting my hopes up, because every time I do get my hopes up for this team recently, it doesn't really end well for me. So I'm not getting my hopes up on that, because if you told 2015, Marsh, that in 10 years Odell was going to finish his career with the Giants, I'd be pumped up and I'd be saying, hell yeah. I am not ruling out, though, a one-day contract for whoever cares about those types of things. It'll be fun. You'll get a little jolt of excitement, go down memory lane, and the nostalgia will hit you. But I've never really understood the one-day retirement thing. It's good PR. They go out on top and they're able to be celebrated. So I understand that. But I think it'd be a lot cooler if he was signed to a deal that maybe he could play 17 games for the New York Giants instead of one day. If you want OBJ to come home and finish his career as a New York Giant, hit that thumbs up icon right now. Let's try to get to 2,000 likes on today's show. If you could, make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I post about the Giants all day, every day. So give me a follow, hit that like button on your way out, and let's go Big Blue.